Hi, I'm interior designer Libby Langdon. I'm hanging out with House Tipster and my good pal, Christopher.
That's me.
We're going to talk all things fun and fabulous in the world of design.
All of them? I don't know if we have enough time. We're going to have our own
not.
show coming up. Well, speaking of shows, you were on Small Spaces, Big Style.
Yes.
And what's awesome about you is your small space expertise, which is, as I lecture on small space too, 70% of the world is going to be living in an urban area. You have a book about it.
Yes, yes. I wrote a book called Libby Langdon Small Space Solutions. And I think it's so true what you're saying. There's a big misconception that small spaces are isolated to urban areas. And they're not. They're all across the country. And I think a big message for me in the show is that living with less doesn't mean living without luxury. Sometimes living with less is the ultimate luxury.
I agree.
Yeah.
As I get older, I'm like, I don't need as much.
I don't need all this stuff. Yeah. Let's get rid of all the stuff.
It is House Tipster,
okay.
And we are typically asking tips that I come up with, but you already have tips. You're a pro. So let's do tips on small space living?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give me a few.
So one of my favorite tips on small spaces, a lot of times people think they should put a small area rug. Exactly the opposite. You should have a rug as big as possible for the space. Visually, it makes it much more expansive. A small rug is like a postage stamp in the middle of a room and it chops it up.
Yeah.
Another thing for me is hanging drapes all the way up to the ceiling.
Yep.
And what that does is it visually tricks the eye. It makes your eye go all the way up to the ceiling. The ceiling seems higher and the room feels bigger.
Especially a lot of spaces, low ceilings. The vertical always helps.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another thing I encourage people in small spaces, have some fun. Don't leave your walls white. Leaving your walls white is not going to magically grow your square footage. So what I recommend is one accent wall, and it could be a really dark, bold color, and then leave the other three walls sort of a neutral, softer, medium tone. And visually, that actually makes that one dark wall recede, and the room does feel bigger. The key is just to add artwork and large things on it. I think lighting also is an incredible component in a small space. So often I can go into small spaces and there's one little lamp in a corner and then one other little lamp in a corner. And people say, it's so dark in here. I was like, yeah, it's really dark in here.
I wonder why.
I wonder why. And so I like for people to think in terms of lighting all four corners of the room. Because if there's an area that's not lit, it's as if that square footage isn't there. And it just closes in the space. So lighting is a great, great tool in a small space.
Well, and considering lighting, one shocking thing always is dimmers. Even if you have an apartment, it's $45 to put in a dimmer because just the mood to control the light and the ambiance is super important.
Absolutely. And if people are renters or they don't really want to spend the money with an electrician, there are plug-in lamp dimmers, people. You can get them at a big box store. You plug it in, plug your lamp into that, and then there's a groovy little dimmer next to your lamp, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, that goes back to the senses and comfort, and it's luxury to be able to control how much light do you have on you.
Absolutely, and lighting, I think, is the thing that makes our spaces warm and inviting.
Thank you for your tips for the viewers. That's great.
My pleasure.
And look forward to hanging out with you again.
Thank you so much, Christopher. This was great. I hope everybody goes to House Tipster to check out all the dreamy info you can get to make your home beautiful.
And you will see Libby's website on the screen, her Instagram and everything else, to reach out to her if you want to.
Thank you so much.
Sure.